office envisions bringing these cases? Because this is a very different dynamic than MPD bringing someone in and making an arrest. This will be federal law enforcement officers making an arrest. How do you envision papering these cases, and are they going to know simple things like where to bring individuals?
Well, I don't think there's any question but that the National Guard being deployed is working with the Metropolitan Police Department to make sure that there will be arrests made that are capable of being prosecuted. I don't see a big difference. Where I do see a difference is in the number of law enforcement officers who are out there and being deployed. That, I think, is the major message. What we're doing right now is we're sending a message to criminals who've been emboldened in this area, who believe that they can get away with crime because they have gotten away with crime, because no one has been arresting them, because the superior courts and my office has no jurisdiction over them, because the DC Council has literally prevented my office from prosecuting anyone who's 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, even if they shoot you with a gun. I have no authority to arrest them. So this is a dual approach. Today is the beginning. It is the beginning where we're telling criminals, young criminals and older criminals, emboldened by the fact that they are so free to commit crime based upon the non-action by government previously. We're telling them now, we're watching you, we know who you are, and we're going to prosecute you, and we're going to change the laws to make sure you can come within my jurisdiction. Because make no mistake, as a nation's capital, the president has a constitutional obligation to make this area safe. And my job as a U.S. attorney here, in the unusual role of being both the DA and the U.S. attorney, is to fight crime and not allow crime to go to the state attorney general, where those crimes should be prosecuted in my office.
You mentioned sometimes you do speak to Brian Schwab. My understanding is MPD officers have to call Schwab's office when they stop a juvenile. And
yeah.
Ultimately, a majority of those cases get no paper. The prosecutors decline. And you've talked about
the family court
in Schwab's office.
Right.
Does anything change today in terms of your power and ability to go after juveniles?
I think the only thing that changes today is a message that we're coming after you, that we're prosecuting you, that, look, the numbers don't make sense. A lot of the numbers that we're talking about in D.C. don't make sense. And, just recently there was a police officer who was suspended for playing with the crime stats. I think that a lot of people in D.C. are not even reporting quality of life crimes. They're not reporting shoplifting. They're not reporting low-level crimes because they know nothing is happening. I'm here now, and the president is sending a message. We're prosecuting these cases, and we are in the process now of bringing in the juveniles. We are beginning the process. No longer will you be able to get away with beating the hell out of people and then end up in a family court where the purpose is to rehabilitate you by sending you to ice cream socials and yoga. That's nonsense, and everyone in this district knows it.
Some violent crime is down. Homicides are down from 2023 significantly, down again this year compared to last year. Also, some violent crime is down. Why now?
Why now? Because, it may be down, but the question is always down from what? If we had the fourth largest highest homicide rate in the country 2 years ago, all of a sudden it goes down. People want to pat themselves on the back? No way. Talk to any of the crime victims. I was just at a college a couple weeks ago where I had photos of young kids who were victims of homicides, of shootings, and it happens over and over again. It's not okay because it's down from last year. It's bad. This is the nation's capital. This is a shining city on the hill. We're not going to tolerate it. People are afraid to come to this city.
You mentioned no cash bond today.
Your wire's hanging out. Can you put that back?
Oh, I love you. Thank you.
You mentioned no cash bond today as being a major issue. How does that help with violent crime if that just allows rich people who commit violent crimes to be able to be released?
No, what it means is that if you have several crimes, it doesn't matter how much money you have. And let's be perfectly clear. Cash bail is not just about money. It's about your connection to the community. It is constitutional. It's in the 8th Amendment. It is presumed to be a part of the justice system. And all of a sudden, because of Democrats, people think, oh, there's something inherently wrong with it. They're wrong. When people are committing 7 and 8 crimes and get away with it, and now they're emboldened to commit more crimes and basically saying, come after me, you're not going to do anything to me, then it's time to rethink this cashless bail nonsense. I've been in criminal justice for 3 decades as a prosecutor, a judge, and a DA. I know that the message being sent is one of, don't worry about it, we're not going to hold you.
You've been in this sphere, as you say, for 3 decades. This move is about protecting law enforcement, enabling law enforcement, helping them do their job. There are some members of law enforcement who see that today is a little bit hypocritical given the president's sweeping pardons of individuals who not just assaulted police officers, but injured them on day one. How is this not a mixed message?
Look, I think the message is very clear. So far this year, I am prosecuting 300 individuals for assaults on police officers. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I will continue to do. And the police need to understand that I have their back. And today is about making sure that the police are supported with the National Guard, with the Park Police, with DEA, with ATF, with FBI to protect all of us. That's who we are, and that's what we're going to do.
And what about those officers who feel like the people who injured them are
Look,
not
I'm not here to satisfy people's feelings if they feel bad. I'm here to prosecute crime.
And looking at law enforcement now and how this is actually going to work, do you know if the National Guard is going to have a station in Southeast where we see a majority of the violent crime?
I think right now that's being left up to, what's his name?
The director of the Army.
No, it's not Dan. It's not Dan. It's the new guy who's running the marshals.
Oh,
Gaddy?
Gaddy.
Is that his first or last name?
First name. His last
Let
name
me
is
Google it. It's Sally.
Yeah, Gaddy's the guy who's running it.
Okay.
He is. What is the U.S. Marshal's title?
Serralta. It's director of the U.S. Marshals, and it's Gaddy S. Serralta.
Okay.
How do you spell the last name?
Serralta.
ASVA?
Serralta.
Oh, Serralta, right. Okay. So the head of the U.S. Marshals, Gaddy Serralta, will determine where they're going to be located, and I think there's going to be a show of force everywhere, especially in areas where there has been high crime previously, especially in areas where young people know they're not going to be arrested because they're too young and where they feel free to commit crime. I think that the fear is a very important message here in terms of deterrence. If you don't think anyone's coming after you, then you're not worried about it. But now, when they see this strong federal, deployment of force, I think it's going to be a very different message.
You have mentioned being down 90 prosecutors, 60 investigators. I know you gave out your email address on Fox News so that people could apply for a job.
Yeah.
Part of that is also due to your predecessor firing more than a dozen, demoting others, and a number of individuals quitting because of the morale and the toxicity in the office. Any comment on that, leaving you down prosecutors?
No, I think, look, people in the office have to be committed to do what I am doing. And my message and my mission is to fight crime and to be totally apolitical. And that's what I'm doing now. I don't speak to what happened before I got there. I only speak to what I'm dealing with right now. And I have a positive message. You want to work with me? We're going to make DC safe. We're going to fight crime. And by the way, I came into an office that was just literally not being run. And it was an office where, contracts are being signed by people who don't even know what they're signing. And that's all changing now because I've run an office. I know how to do this. And for too long, there was this laissez-faire, whatever will be. Not anymore. Now it's my call, and whatever the problems are, they're my fault.
This
Last question.
is generally the purview of Congress, deciding how to run and how much money to give DC. Is this move by federalizing MPD and putting National Guard in DC an end run around Congress, and is this violating posse comitatus?
No, I don't. It's not at all, because right now the president has the authority to do what he's doing, to deploy the National Guard, because there is no governor in D.C. that he has to worry about. It's not violating posse comitatus at all. It's just the opposite. And I think that it is the right thing to do. He has a constitutional duty to make this place safe. And if you've got a capital, a nation's capital, where people are afraid to come to see, you know, all of the sights in this beautiful city because it's not safe, then the burden is even more on him to do what he's done. And I thank the president for doing what he's doing.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.